Hello, it's Julius Reed here, coming to help you recover from porn addiction. Oh my god, you disgusting specimen. Thank you for listening. Tis the theme tune! Damn it, it never plays. Why does it never play? Alright, let's just pretend. There we go, baby. Yeah, that's the theme tune. Here's a sound effect. Here's another one. Toasty. I don't know why. Okay, it's just all right. I'll just pretend that was All right, soundboard not working. Usually the theme tune fades out, in and out. Sexy. Yeah, you're listening to the NeverFap Deluxe Daily. My name is Julius Reed, also known as Daddy Reed. Daddy Reed. Obviously, don't call me that. Unless if you're over 18, then it's totally cool. You know what I mean? I guess it's not a sexual term if you're a child, right? Because you don't know about all that stuff. But of course, you're watching porn, so you're sick. You're sick. You know all about the daddy play. And you know, I remember when I was watching porn, it was like I remember they put it was like the Japanese porn, and like they'd put eels inside them. Sexy. Also very desperate. Yes, but. That's okay. We've got all sorts of segments for you to flounder on, you sick fish. No, let's just play the header. The Checkup. The Checkup. The Checkup. Yes. All right. Let's take some time to just sort of calm down. Just, get into your meditative state. Screaming! Today's checkup, obviously checking up on you, the listener, the struggling porn addict, sicko, touching yourself. Don't do that. But what you can do is you can listen to the podcast, send in a nice review, inflate my ego. It needs help, kids. I'm dying. I'm not actually dying. The checkup, how are you coping? Are you doing okay? Have you just eaten noodles? Are you feeling satiated? Of course, another term for full, if you're not great with the English language, like I am, obviously expert Englishateur, as is commonly referenced in Shakespeare plays. Are you coping well? Did you meditate today? Meditation, so very important to help you remain calm, remain aware. If it wasn't for meditation, I'd still be whacking it. You know what I mean? Whacking it day and night. So I'm sure that's like an Ariana Grande tune. Whack it day and night, featuring some rapper. Obviously, I can't rap. Exercise will help you get to where you need to. So, that's something for you to do. If you haven't done it already, jump on a treadmill, jump on a running device that's not a treadmill, lift some weights, punch a nun. I'm all about punching nuns here on the show. Did you remain calm? Obviously not if you're listening to this. But what are you going to do differently as well? Something very important for you to think about. What are you going to do differently with your recovery? Are you going to do a little more, a little less? Sometimes letting go and doing less is actually the right way to approach your recovery. If you're frustrated, if you're feeling obsessed, then letting go will help you tremendously with that. And that brings us to the end of the checkup, which brings us to the beginning of the topic. The topic. Man, we're just pumped with energy in today's show. Today's topic is, why do we have wet dreams? Because that's a question that people are thinking about. Man, I had a wet dream. Some people call it nightfall. Don't know why. It's not like you're falling in your dream or at night. You're in your bed, buddy. It makes sense though. So wet dreams, why do they happen? Wet dreams can happen for any number of reasons. I have a fairly good idea why they happen, but, it's not concrete. These are abstract ideas that I present with you. This whole idea of letting go and awareness, these are abstract ideas, although they translate very well when it comes to practice and actually understanding them from a feeling perspective. These are just ideas. Relapse can happen for any number of reasons, for that reason there. In general, how I would describe it is that wet dreams are a result of having an unbalanced mind. So in a sense, you can think of them as like a subconscious relapse, if that makes sense. It's something that you can influence, basically by working on your mental health and having mental balance. Basically what I've noticed is that I'll only have wet dreams if, I'm particularly stressed, or I, don't have a nice sleep, or I'm really tired. Basically they happen when I'm not in mental balance. That's how I describe it. A common misconception is that they're uncontrollable. There's something you can't control. But that's not true, essentially. If you work on your mental health, if you remain mentally balanced, you can control them. As I say, the moment you lose mental balance is when your risk, and I say risk because, like I say, you can't prove that, yes, it's for this exact reason, but yes, if you remain mentally unbalanced, your risk of having a wet dream increases dramatically, essentially. So yeah, things like being depressed. If you're depressed, then yeah, your chance of having a wet dream will increase. And, I think this is a really important thing about, because you might be thinking, well, it kind of sounds like we don't have control because our emotions, go haywire. But the thing is, when you have mental balance, you do have control over your emotions. And, dare I say, you basically don't get depressed because you know what you're doing. You have the awareness to understand of what behaviors you need to commit to in order not to be depressed. And yes, because depression and that kind of thing, is basically a symptom. Kind of like porn addiction. Porn addiction is just a symptom of not having control over your mind. If you were mentally balanced, you wouldn't have a desire to watch porn. You probably wouldn't have a desire to pursue many of the destructive behaviors that you have. Of course, I say that broadly. Depression is a very broad thing. I guess I'm referring to, being sad or your emotions being slightly off for that day, not like extreme depression where your brain's like, it's about to explode and, you're holding a gun to your head. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, he's dead. Yeah. Was that appropriate? Probably not. That's okay. I can answer this in court when they're like, Julius, what were you doing? And I was like, I was on drugs, plead insanity. That's how I get out of all my court cases. And it has worked so far. So thank you, court system. So essentially, what this means, if you're not mentally balanced, is that there's a gap in your recovery strategy. And that's fine, especially if you're starting out. Relapse is nothing to worry about. It basically means you just need to do things differently. It means you need to look at your strategy, look at where the gaps are, the weaknesses. Maybe you're not meditating enough. Maybe you don't know how to meditate correctly. That's a big one. People go, oh, well, Julius Reed, I've been meditating for any number of years now, and, I just don't get it. And it's like, well, it just means you need to work on how you meditate. Guided meditation helps tremendously, especially if you're confused or you feel like it's not working out. It likely means you're not doing it correctly. And, funnily enough, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I saw that movie once in like the 80s where it was like the guy meditated by like sitting cross-legged. And so I just basically mimicked it. It's like saying that, in order to speak Japanese, you have to talk like this, or this is how they talk. It's like, that's not actually speaking Japanese. That's just being racist. And that's kind of what you're doing in a sense. You're just stereotyping what others have done or what you think they're doing as meditation and then copying it, which I guess, you're starting out and you don't, we just make assumptions. That's cool. We all do. Maybe it means you're not handling those difficult emotions efficiently. Maybe you're feeling stressed, overworked. Maybe you're not being consistent with your meditation. All sorts of reasons why you might have lost mental balance or not quite figured out how to get there. That's okay. At the end of the day, it's about focusing on your mental health, focusing on your mental health routine, and becoming the Reed. That's right. So that was, what was that? That was the topic. The topic! That was a successful topic. Thank you, Reed. That's right. Get the kids. Where are the kids? Cheer me on, kids. There we go. Kids. Thank you for cheering me on. But that brings us to the viewer mail. The viewer mail. Thank you, viewer mail. Header. Today's viewer mail comes from Brandon James from Maebashi, Japan. That's the correct pronunciation. Racism. I've got to shoot the racist. Shoot him. Okay, we'll blow him up instead. Doubly effective. Maybe, because racists hang out, right? So that would have killed, multiple racists within the vicinity. I assume. Brandon says, hey, Julius, I've been having suicidal thoughts lately. Tonight might be the night that I end it all. I feel like I have no reason to live. What should I do? Julius! Says Brandon. I know, Brandon, that life must be incredibly difficult for you. I empathize. Suicidal thoughts, obviously, an extremity that you have to deal with, especially in modern Japan with the long work hours and, rigid hierarchy. That's obviously how your boss sounds. See, comedy fixes everything. It doesn't. He's still suicidal. But no matter how difficult it gets, I just want to let you know that the Reed loves you. Oh, that's right. I love you, but of course, I would love you even more if you were to subscribe to the podcast and, leave a lovely review on our Castbox or iTunes channel. I would love you even more. Even more reason not to kill yourself. Also, because we need the extra listeners. And life is definitely worth living, knowing that you're giving money to a good cause. So, a measly sum of $10,000 to me, Julius Reed. I promise that you will feel a sense of purpose like never before. That's a promise. It's not a joke. Oh, but I love this song. Let's just go with it. And listen, Brandon, I will blow you. If you help me do my taxes, that's how much life is worth living. It's all about giving at the end of the day. So if you give, you'll feel good, especially when you give to the Reed, because the Reed gives back. I'm currently giving you the sexy tones of Mr. Reed. On the other hand, if you're kind of poor, probably worth killing yourself. But who knows, maybe you can get a second credit card out. Just saying, the Reed needs the cash. Anyway, that was the viewer mail.
The viewer mail.
Obviously, very inappropriate, that one. But it was kind of sexy. And, I like this. I like being sexy, I think. That brings us to the end of the show. Facebook, Twitter, Castbox, Reddit, Discord. Join us on the Discord. A heap of people there hanging out with their cocks out. That's not true. Email, NeverFap Deluxe at gmail.com. Check out the website, doing the podcast writers daily. Look after your mental health.